All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really profound, deeply introspective concept from Lifeshan Yuan founder Guide Xuefeng. We're looking at his 2010 essay, Facing Reality. And it's all about how we handle our personal hardships and navigate the daily grind. You know, we all face struggles, but how often do we actually stop and look at the absolute root cause of them? Let's break down his unique approach to overcoming suffering.
So, do you experience pain, troubles, anxiety, worries, or fears? I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say we'd all give a massive yes to that, right? Guide Xuefeng starts right here, connecting with this totally universal human experience. We all want out of the suffering. We literally all want to live in a carefree place, a state of peace that he calls the heavenly kingdom. But to actually get there? Well, according to this philosophy, it requires a complete, radical shift in how we look at our problems.
Now here is where it gets really fascinating. This philosophy completely redefines what facing reality even means. Usually, when someone tells you to face reality, they mean looking out at a harsh, broken world and just dealing with it. But Guide Xuefeng flips that completely upside down. Facing reality is actually an inward mirror. It means recognizing that you are imperfect and deeply understanding that the root of literally all your suffering lies in those own personal imperfections. It's not the world's fault. The fault, he argues, is entirely within us.
And that brings us to this incredibly bold, uncompromising claim. In this universe, not a single soul is truly wronged. Wow, that is a heavy assertion. Think about it. When we feel pain, our gut reaction is almost always to look around for a culprit. We want someone to blame. But Guide Xuefeng teaches that we have to look inside. Instead of pointing fingers at heaven, earth, society, or just the people around us, we have to honestly confront our own flaws. The pain isn't some outside injustice inflicted upon us, it's just a symptom of our own internal state.
So the absolute crucial takeaway here is this. Shifting responsibility onto others is easy, but doing so guarantees that your suffering will never disappear. Sure, it's the path of least resistance to just point the finger when things go south. And yeah, it feels kind of good in the moment. But taking that easy way out, it's actually a trap. By pushing the blame away, we completely strip ourselves of the power to fix the problem, and we basically lock ourselves into an endless, repeating cycle of misery. This brilliantly illustrates the stark contrast between two very different paths in life. First, you've got the path of blame. This happens when someone absolutely refuses to admit their imperfections and just blames everybody else for their troubles. Guide Xuefeng describes his path as hypocritical, illusory, and totally vain. It is a really unfortunate way to live. But then, in complete contrast, we have the path of reality. By doing the really hard work of acknowledging our flaws, we open the door to genuine happiness, joy, freedom, and bliss. According to his writings, it's the only real way to finally reach that peaceful heavenly kingdom. Guide Xuefeng notes that he's carefully observed all the misfortunes in the human world, and his conclusion on the root of human tragedy, it's stark. The ultimate cause of every tragedy lies in our own imperfections. But here's the kicker. The tragedy is massively compounded because we absolutely refuse to face reality. We won't acknowledge our flaws, and instead, we aggressively hurl blame and condemnation at others. This hypocritical refusal to just face who we really are is the exact engine generating all the misery we see out there.
Okay, so how do we actually pull ourselves out of this sea of suffering? It boils down to a very clear, actionable methodology, a three-step process of taking ultimate personal responsibility. Step 1. You have to stop blaming society or others. Just completely halt that reflex to point outward. Step 2. Honestly acknowledge your own imperfections. Just accept that you are fundamentally flawed. And step 3, look within yourself for the real cause of the pain. By doing this, you instantly shift from being a helpless victim to an active participant in your own emotional liberation.
Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. As the source text warns, by avoiding ourselves and being terrified to confront who we truly are, we basically condemn ourselves to endless suffering. So the big question you have to ask yourself right now, the question this entire philosophical framework hinges on, is simply this. Will you confront who you truly are? It's definitely not the easy path, but according to Lifeshan Yuan founder Guide Xuefeng, it is the only path to true reality and lasting peace. Thanks for joining me today, and I really hope this philosophy gives you a powerful new lens for looking at the challenges in your own life.